Today, we want to share experiences from our clients that moved to another country and were not happy in their new dream home and either considered returning home or wanted to make a change and opted for a country that suits them better. Especially in recent years, this trend of deciding to either return home or to keep moving on has increased among our customer base compared to previous years, which is why today we are taking a look at the top list of countries to which our emigrants regret having moved to. The order is sorted by percentage, that is, X% of people who emigrated to this country said they regret it. Before we get started, it should be made clear that these are often luxury problems. Poorer countries or dictatorships would probably be higher on the list, but we don't have any emigrants among our customers who ended up there in the first place only to regret it later. We are not saying in any way that a specific type of country is bad in general, but only that your expectations may be much different than the reality that you will experience there. This is Wealthlocity, where you create, protect, and grow your wealth. Fast. 13th place, Canada. Canada is known for its cold climate, especially in the northern regions and during the long winter months. For people who are used to warm weather, the Canadian climate can become challenging and make them regret their move. Although Canada offers a high quality of life, it comes with a high cost of living. Especially in cities like Vancouver and Toronto, rent, food, and other expenses can be expensive, which can lead to financial strains that make people regret moving to Canada. Cultural adjustment to Canada can be challenging for many immigrants. Understanding Canadian customs, adjusting to the work culture and social environment can take time and lead to frustration, especially when people feel they are not fully accepted or integrated. It can be difficult for immigrants to make new friends and build a supportive social network, especially when they are far from their family and friends. Social isolation can lead to loneliness and dissatisfaction, and can contribute to people regretting their move to Canada. In recent years, the current government has repeatedly deviated from our customers' average understanding of democracy, for example, by suppressing demonstrations or freezing bank accounts. 12th place, Japan. The Japanese language and culture can be challenging for immigrants. Lack of Japanese language skills can make communication and integration difficult, while cultural differences in work practices, social norms, and daily life can lead to misunderstandings and frustration. Japan is considered one of the most expensive countries in the world, especially in cities like Tokyo and Osaka. Rent, food, and transportation costs can be high and create financial burdens that make people regret moving to Japan. Japanese work culture is known for long working hours, high performance expectations, and a strong focus on teamwork. For immigrants, the high work pressure and lack of work-life balance can lead to stress and dissatisfaction, especially if they are used to a less demanding work environment. Social isolation can be a problem for immigrants in Japan, especially if they have difficulty making new friends or integrating into the local community. The language barrier and cultural differences can contribute to people feeling isolated and disconnected, which can lead to regrets about their move to Japan. Japan is prone to natural disasters such as earthquakes, typhoons, and tsunamis. These events can cause safety concerns and stress, especially for immigrants who are unfamiliar or unused to such natural phenomena. 11th place, France. Despite France's attractiveness as a destination for immigrants, finding a suitable job can be difficult. The unemployment rate in France can be high, especially for immigrants who do not have specific skills or French language competence. This can lead to financial uncertainty and frustration. The bureaucratic processes in France can be lengthy and complex, especially for immigrants who need to apply for a residence permit or other formal documents. The bureaucracy can cause delays and complicate the move, which can lead to regret about the decision to move to France. Despite its cultural appeal, immigrants may find it difficult to integrate into French society. Differences in lifestyle, social norms, and mentality can lead to a feeling of alienation and make it difficult to adapt to life in France. Immigrants who move to France to advance their careers may find that career advancement opportunities are limited. The labor market structure in France, particularly in terms of internal promotions and career development, can be frustrating for some immigrants and cause them to regret their move. Families moving to France might face additional challenges, especially when children are involved in the process of adjusting to a new school and a new social environment. Differences in the education system and parenting methods could cause difficulties and make the move distressing for family members. While France is known for its romantic rural areas, living conditions in some urban centers, particularly in terms of pollution, noise, and crowded streets, can cause dissatisfaction. Immigrants moving to France seeking a better quality of life may be disappointed if they find themselves living in highly urbanized areas. 10th place, China. The Chinese language, especially Mandarin, can be challenging for immigrants, especially if they have no prior knowledge. The cultural differences in work practices, social norms, and daily life can lead to misunderstandings and difficulties in integration. Major Chinese cities face significant environmental problems, including air pollution and water pollution. The poor air quality and environmental conditions can lead to health problems and affect the quality of life, which can lead to regrets about moving to China. The Chinese government exercises strict internet censorship, which can restrict access to certain websites and social media. For immigrants, this can lead to limitations in communication and information sharing, which can lead to frustration and feelings of isolation. Immigrants in China may complain about the lack of certain rights and privileges that they are used to in their home countries. This could concern aspects such as freedom of expression, freedom of religion, or equal treatment, which could lead to frustration and regret about moving to China. Perceptions of corruption and lack of rule of law in China can lead to a loss of trust in government institutions and legal systems. The widespread corruption and lack of legal certainty can frustrate immigrants and cause them to regret moving to China, especially if they face legal problems. 9th place, Mexico. Mexico has safety issues, including high crime rates and violence, especially in some regions of the country. Fear of theft, muggings, or even kidnapping can become a significant stress factor and make people feel unsafe and uncomfortable. Although Mexico has a burgeoning economy, economic instability and inequality can create challenges. Immigrants might have difficulty adjusting to the financial uncertainties and securing a stable income, which can lead to financial stress and ultimately regret of the move. The cultural differences and the language barrier can be a challenge for many immigrants. The lack of Spanish language skills can make integration and communication difficult, while cultural differences in social norms, working practices, and lifestyle can lead to misunderstandings and frustration. Mexico faces significant environmental problems, including pollution, water shortages, and natural disasters such as earthquakes and hurricanes. For people accustomed to a clean and healthy environment, these problems can lead to feelings of alienation and regret. The perception of corruption and lack of rule of law in Mexico can lead to a loss of trust in government institutions and legal systems. Widespread corruption and the slow functioning of the justice system can frustrate immigrants and cause them to regret their move, especially if they find themselves embroiled in legal problems. 8th place, Thailand. In large urban areas like Bangkok, traffic can be excessive and result in long commute times. Road safety is also a concern as traffic laws may not be as strictly enforced as in other countries. Accidents and traffic congestion can lead to frustration and regret about moving to Thailand. The perception of corruption and lack of legal certainty in Thailand may lead to a loss of trust in government institutions and legal systems. Immigrants may have difficulty having trust in the legal system, which could lead to frustration and regret about moving to Thailand. Although Thailand has some reputable international schools, immigrants might be dissatisfied with the education system and the educational facilities available, especially if they are used to higher standards. This can lead to regrets about moving to Thailand, especially for families with children. Although Thailand is known for its religious tolerance, there are restrictions on religious activities and practice, especially for non-Buddhist religions. Immigrants who cannot freely practice their religious beliefs may feel restricted in their spiritual practice, which could lead to frustration and regret. Thailand is prone to natural disasters such as floods, tropical storms, and earthquakes. These events can cause safety concerns and stress, especially for immigrants who are unfamiliar or unused to such natural phenomena. The Thai government exercises some control over the media, and some content may be censored or restricted. This can cause frustration and regret for immigrants who are accustomed to freedom of the press and unrestricted access to information. 7th place, Indonesia. Indonesia is a diverse country with a variety of religions and ethnicities. Despite this, religious or ethnic tensions can lead to unrest or conflict. Immigrants may feel unsafe or uncomfortable in such situations, which may lead to regret about their move to Indonesia. The perception of corruption and lack of legal certainty in Indonesia can lead to a loss of trust in government institutions and legal systems. The widespread corruption and lack of legal certainty can frustrate immigrants and make them regret their move to Indonesia, especially if they face legal problems. Indonesia is prone to natural disasters such as earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and floods. These events can cause significant damage and safety concerns, especially for immigrants who are not familiar with such natural phenomena or have not made adequate preparations. Press freedom in Indonesia may be restricted, and journalists may face threats or reprisals. Immigrants who value unrestricted access to information and media may feel constrained by such restrictions and regret moving to Indonesia. Despite economic growth in some areas, infrastructure in Indonesia can be inadequate, especially in rural areas. Deficiencies in transportation, electricity, sanitation, and internet access could cause inconvenience and make immigrants regret their move. Sixth place, Monaco. There are some reasons why people might regret moving to Monaco. Monaco is considered one of the most expensive countries in the world, especially when it comes to real estate and living costs. The extremely high prices of rent and property, as well as the cost of food and services, can create financial stress and make people regret moving to Monaco. Due to Monaco's limited area, the available living space is limited. This can lead to cramped living conditions, especially for immigrants who are used to more spacious living spaces. The lack of space and high population density could lead to unease and regret about moving to Monaco. Monaco is considered a tax haven for wealthy residents, but for many immigrants, the tax regulations can be complicated and create financial burdens. The requirements and regulations often overwhelm inexperienced immigrants. Although Monaco has a state-of-the-art healthcare system and educational facilities, immigrants may face limited access to public services. Capacities may be limited, especially for non-citizens, which could lead to dissatisfaction and regret. Despite its cosmopolitan atmosphere, Monaco could be a place of social isolation for some immigrants. The high density of wealthy residents and the focus on luxury living could create a divide between different social groups, which could lead to loneliness and dissatisfaction. While Monaco is known as a financial and tourism hub, professional opportunities in other industries might be limited. Immigrants who want to work in other fields might have difficulty finding suitable job offers, which could lead to regrets about their move to Monaco. Fifth place, Switzerland. Switzerland is one of the most expensive countries in the world when it comes to the cost of living. In particular, rent and property prices, as well as the cost of food and services, can create financial strain and make people regret moving to Switzerland. Switzerland has 4 official languages: German, French, Italian, and Romansh, which can be challenging for immigrants, especially if they have no prior knowledge of several of these languages. The cultural differences between the different regions of Switzerland could lead to misunderstandings and difficulties in integration. Although Switzerland has a strong economy, immigrants might have difficulty finding a suitable job, especially if they do not have specific skills or the necessary professional recognition. Competition in the job market might be high, which could lead to frustration and regret. Switzerland has strict immigration rules that could make moving difficult for immigrants. Residence and work permit requirements could be complex and lead to delays or rejections, which could cause uncertainty and frustration. Despite its cultural diversity, Switzerland could be a place of social isolation for some immigrants. Swiss society could be perceived as reserved or distant, which could make it difficult to make new friends or integrate into social groups. The Swiss work culture can be challenging for immigrants, especially due to the high work pressure and expectations of productivity and efficiency. The stressful work routine could lead to burnout and dissatisfaction, which could make people regret their move to Switzerland. Fourth place, United States of America. The United States has created a very complex immigration system for foreigners, and even after years in the country, there is a lot of pressure to lose the respective visa or not to have it renewed. The healthcare system in the United States is known for high costs and complex insurance structures. Immigrants may face the high healthcare costs and limited access to affordable healthcare, which could lead to financial stress and frustration. The United States often experiences political polarization and social tensions, which can lead to feelings of uncertainty and unrest. Immigrants may feel burdened by political unrest or social tensions, which could lead to regrets about their move to the United States. Despite its diversity, American culture can sometimes be difficult for immigrants to access. Differences in lifestyle, social norms, and mentality could lead to difficulties in adaptation and increase feelings of alienation, which could lead to regrets about moving to the United States. The liberal gun policies and high number of firearms in the United States could be troubling for immigrants, especially those coming from countries with stricter gun laws. Concerns about public safety and personal security could lead to regrets about moving to the United States. Third place, Germany. Although Germany is considered affordable compared to some other European countries, the cost of living in certain cities such as Munich, Frankfurt, or Hamburg can be quite high and offer poor value for money. Due to the lack of tolerance in Germany, immigrants may have difficulties adjusting to cultural differences, especially when it comes to social norms, etiquette, and work practices. Adjusting to the German lifestyle and integrating into society may take longer than expected and may lead to frustration. In some German cities, traffic can be very stressful, especially during rush hours. Long commute times and crowded public transportation could cause stress and inconvenience, which could lead to regrets about moving to Germany, especially for immigrants who are used to a more efficient transportation infrastructure. The short days and long periods of darkness in winter could cause seasonal depression or mood swings in some immigrants. The lack of sunlight during the winter months could become a challenge for mental health and cause people to regret their move to Germany. Immigrants might sometimes feel lonely or isolated in Germany, especially if they have difficulty making new friends or integrating into social circles. Forming a social network can be difficult, especially in the initial stages of the move, and this could lead to regrets about moving to Germany. Immigrants may be overwhelmed by German bureaucracy, especially when it comes to dealing with authorities, filing tax returns, or other administrative tasks. The need to deal with complex forms and procedures could lead to stress and frustration and make them regret moving to Germany. Second place, United Arab Emirates, Dubai. Dubai has strict rules regarding freedom of speech and expression. Immigrants may feel restricted in their personal freedom by these restrictions, especially if they come from countries with a strong culture of freedom of expression. This could lead to unease and regret about moving to Dubai. The work culture in Dubai can be unfamiliar to immigrants, especially in terms of holiday regulations and working hours. Long work weeks and limited holidays could lead to an imbalance between work and leisure, which could lead to dissatisfaction and regret about moving to Dubai. Some immigrants might find it difficult to find strong social support or a sense of community in Dubai. The transient nature of the population and the frequent moves might make it difficult to build long-term friendships, which could lead to loneliness and regret about moving to Dubai. Although Dubai is a vibrant city with many entertainment options, there are still restrictions on the consumption of alcohol and other social activities. Immigrants may feel limited in their lifestyle by these restrictions, especially if they are used to a lively and varied social scene. Dubai is in a constant state of change and is known for its rapid city development and urbanization. Immigrants might face the constant changes in the cityscape and feel that the city is losing its unique identity, which might lead to dissatisfaction and regret about moving to Dubai. Although immigrants can work and live in Dubai, they often have fewer rights than citizens and may face bureaucratic hurdles and restrictions. The lack of long-term security and limited opportunities for integration could lead to frustration and regret about moving to Dubai. First place, Cyprus. Although the cost of living in Cyprus is moderate compared to other Western European countries, it can still be high for some immigrants, especially in tourist areas or large cities such as Nicosia or Limassol, where value for money is no longer available. High rents, food prices, and service costs could lead to financial strain. Although Cyprus has an adequate healthcare system and educational facilities, immigrants may face limited options for quality healthcare services and educational facilities, especially in rural areas or smaller towns. Cyprus is a divided island, and the political situation between the Greek and Turkish sides can be uncertain. Immigrants may be affected by the political tensions and feel uncertain about the long-term stability and the impact on their lives on the island. Immigrants moving to Cyprus to advance their careers may be disappointed by the limited professional development opportunities. Cyprus's economy is heavily dependent on tourism, and there may be fewer opportunities in other industries or for highly skilled professionals. Although Cyprus's Mediterranean climate offers many attractions, some immigrants may have problems with the heat in summer or seasonal allergies. In addition, Environmental problems such as water shortages or pollution in some areas may be a concern. Immigrants may find it challenging to integrate into the local community, especially if they live or work in areas with few immigrants. So here we are. Let us know which country surprised you most in the comments below. We see you in the next video with more money in your pocket.